So just put the socket right on there, make sure it locks in. Feel it kind of link. And I'm going to hand tighten it at first, then torque it down. Here, conflicting reports about 13 pound-feet versus 20 pound-feet. So I'm going to go with 20 to tighten this up. To tighten it up, I had to switch over to a slightly longer extension because I need some clearance for my torque wrench. I didn't have enough clearance, so I had to put the extension down in there. Now I'm going to put my torque wrench on it. Done. Took off the torque wrench, then took out the extension. It felt a little tighter than I was expecting, but there you go. So now I'm going to put on the new coil. Here's the coil. Just going to stick it down in there like this. So here it is. Put it down in there. I'm going to make sure it's seated properly. And then I'm going to tighten that up, and then I'm going to connect the wire. So next, tighten up the bolt. So taking this little screw and putting it back here and then tightening it up. Tighten up that 10mm bolt on the coil, tighten that down, attached the electrical connector to it. So now we are in a good spot. So I'm going to take this and let it run for a little bit, see if it throws a code. Okay, so I turn it on. I still have these two lights showing up. And at first when I turned it on, the RPM just went a little bit ever so slightly higher. I probably would have never noticed it, but I had my eye on it, and then it completely calmed down and it runs perfectly fine. Now I'm doing some codes. So this business here might be because of that other code and not the coil. So let's see what it has. Okay, here's what we got. So it's P0302, misfire cylinder 2, P04630, fuel level sensor, and then misfire cylinder number 2. Now I haven't cleared these codes, so that's maybe why this is doing this. Okay, so I deleted the codes. Nothing's popping up. Nothing's popping up. Looks good. Let's read codes. Those still may have been on. No fault codes detected. Cool. Okay, so changes engine coil and spark plug. Here's the tools I needed. 3/8 ratchet, 10mm, 14mm, this is socket, 5/8 socket for the spark plug, torque wrench, a spanner, and this is another 10mm, or you could use a shorter extension. You have to have these and the extensions. These two just make it a little easier. So that's the tools you're going to need. So the next thing will be putting this metal piece back. When you do this, be sure to lift this up, put it under, kaboom. One little trick. When you're trying to put these on, bolts back here, the bolts want to keep coming off your socket. What you do, you put a little bit of, so here's the bolt, you put some towel in between your bolt and the socket, just like that. That'll keep it snug long enough for you to stick it in that hole and to start tightening up. So one of my little bolts back there look like, well, the actual female side of it. So that looks like it is M6-1. So for some weird reason, this bolt won't go in. I did my thread check. The problem isn't with the bolt, it's with the metal. So I'm going to have to tap this, the tap and die set, to give it new threads. M6-8, as we were talking about before. So down here, this little bolt, the bolt isn't the problem, it's this female part, M6-1. I gotta tap it and put a thread on it. Don't ask me how that happened. So trying to tap a new thread into this with my tap set. So this has been a little divergence, it took a while. I thought it was a pain in the rear. So where that paper towel is, I had to use a tap and die to re-thread that. What happened was I started to tighten it up and I had it on my Milwaukee ratchet, power ratchet, and I hit it by accident, and that must have been what stripped it. So word of the wise, folks. So you start out here, you do this one, then this one, then this one, and then we're going to do the ones on the top. I hand tighten these three to get them started so they don't miss a thread. Boom, done. Hand tightened, and then boom. See this little thing on the end? See that? Hand tighten. Get it started, hand tighten. That one felt a little snug. I just make sure because I don't want to strip it. These look good. Here we go. Boom. Okay, so this small piece, give a perspective, this small piece is going to go on first, and then this goes on top of it. So you can see the blue pieces here, and you can see the holes. Just going to put that down here, and then push it over. Shoot. So I'm not happy at all with how snug this is, but there is a little hole down here. So I am going to try to find a smaller one to put in there. Hopefully I can find one to secure that. Okay, I've placed these in here first. Then notice there's these divots, so I'm going to put it in and then pull it over. So here we go. So you can take these out of here. You just reach underneath, pinch, These things are expensive. They come straight from Honda. Pinch and they come out. I'm going to put this one all the way over to the right this way. Then I'm going to attach this one here. So this one doesn't have any play. So I'm going to try to swoop in here on this one, catch it, and then push this one down. Let's see how it works. That was horrible. So the piece that goes right under here, I just used a yellow zip tie, securing it on here with a yellow zip tie, and over here with a yellow zip tie. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. Honda, you can do better. Shoot. I use the dust to know where to position these. So put these back on, put these back on. And then these little pieces here. So this thing you put it here, then push it down here, and there's a little lip push in. So see, pay attention to this. So you push. So that's flush. Then you just come right here. And this side it took two hands. You went in and then just flipped it under there. So now it's ready to go.